learned to an election. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down, we gon' get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming in on August 13th, 2020, and a lot of things happened today, and we made some plays. So I want to talk about a few different things, talk about what happened today, what I'm looking for by the end of this week, and I think this is somewhat of a pivotal week. So I want to talk about that. We're going to explain it with the plays. I got the keys. I have everything we're looking for and a recap of what we saw today. So there was a lot, but there wasn't a lot. There was economic data. You saw the action with Tesla and then the Dow Jones and the rotations, and we need to explain it. So there's a lot going on. So I will not delay, but you guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free 99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/thestockmarket. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list come to life. And yes, if you want to learn a new language, it's kind of like Pig Latin. It's called Chad Latin. Our instructor, Yash, there's a sign up at Twitch TV/trading fraternity. So ask for Yash and he will get you signed up there. And you can see it on, anyways, but the most important thing you need to do, post or watch this below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, remixes, anything, post them below and source that info. Shout out to Chad and thank you all. God bless you. So right off the bat, the first thing I will say is the rotation broke down today, but not really. So the Dow Jones was up, the S&P was up, everything. NASDAQ was up 2%, Dow 1%, S&P 1.4%. But the key was NASDAQ dropped about 2% yesterday. So even though it moved up big today, kind of keep track of everything, it was slightly better than break even from Monday. But now remember the Dow, it barely went down and it went up a lot today, because if it didn't drop a lot yesterday and goes up 1%, it's a pretty big move, and you kind of saw this. That's why Home Depot, we talked about these rotation ones. We missed out on McDonald's. I'm still going to be looking at that play, but as far as today goes, it was just really the rotation aspect of it, but kind of a follow-up to the weirdness we saw yesterday. But a lot of people weren't really weirded out by it, and even the market, you could kind of see that here. But like I said, wait till Friday. I want to see time to see how kind of everything plays out, and now that's what I want to talk about, because it seems for me that everything going on overseas, specifically UK, overnight we got the UK GDP that came out, but stuff happening overseas, what it's doing to global currencies. We got some deficit in some macro trade data. That is what caught my attention, and then also price moves. So you saw gold and silver. There was a little bit of the movements today, but then there was also weird stuff today. I wasn't paying attention during market, but I saw this after hours, like lumber futures, like almost double or tripled. And then there was some issues with some natural gas things. So even with the currencies, remember when we got those IWMs with like the Naira getting floated? It's when you start to see more and more of these actions, it starts to catch my attention. Even in silver, I'll show you guys with SLV. That's one of the plays I'm going to be watching. But even with how it's moving, I mean, I'll just show you now. If you come look at silver, I mean, SLV is up 2.6% today, but now, and this is something I hope you guys are all familiar with, it's not ever going to always be a one-to-one correlation, but the price of silver is down 1% today. Again, the ETFs and this is why I say paper, gold, and silver isn't always going to reflect it, but the overall concept with this is that there's going to be a opportunity of movement in arbitrage, because the value of what this ETF represents, what they're holding, the net asset value, and then now the price, compare that to the price of the commodity, which they derive their whole entire value from. It's going to create a gap, and there's going to be changes. But now, even tying this into the broader concept, we're just seeing a lot of weird moves. So I talked about this today, even kind of explained some of the plays I want to discuss, or even the UVXY play that I made today. I mean, even as a reminder, again, there's a lot of still uncertainty as far as the valuation. And when you start to see big asset class moves like that, again, even with commodities now, the dollar, UK data, and then the deficits, and that's literally representation of dollars and other currencies moving around. So this is all catching my attention, because it's like something is happening here, but we are still very, very early. So even, I guess another example to give you guys, and to even explain why I'm telling you this today, because we saw what happened yesterday. You're kind of seeing it today and how things are developing, even in the news and all that. But how we move forward coming into August, this is where I'm starting to kind of perk my ears up. to see how things play out. But really what I'm kind of expecting is that you could see it could base out for a range. This is the dollar. So it doesn't mean things have to go crazy because it could burn a lot of time. And you guys have seen, I didn't go after the TLTs for the last few months. You saved a lot of money by not having to burn that or even buying insurance plays. I think we spent like, $1,500, $1,000 on IWMs, and they still have us covered. I didn't show the screen. This is the dollar. There you go. But watch that, and finally watch oil. If everything really is going to go crazy, I wouldn't be surprised to see something there. But that's pretty much it. Again, looking at a different stuff, there's going to be stuff moving fast, and then also watching the macro as well. So I hope you guys are ready and being smart. But also don't forget the rotations. We will talk about that now. But let us get into the plays. But right off the bat, I like the rotations. McDonald's, again, I'll say this one, that play, it was moving good, but you saw what happened with Home Depot. So if I could get closer to the money on the weekly, I might. But again, tomorrow's going to be Thursday. But if anything, if there is some sort of theta crush next week, and there might be a rotation within the rotation, if that makes sense. But watch HD. HD did it. We've often seen them either move very, very closely or a few weeks apart. But I still like that McDonald's play on the bullish side. Then the other play that I'm going to be looking at for tomorrow will be Johnson & Johnson. I'm not going to really try to get this one with time, or I'm not going to rush into it because it's a slow mover. I've been watching them. I'll show you guys the other stocks and kind of the broader thesis with it when we get to the chart, but I'm going to be looking at them either on the upside or even the sell premium just because they haven't moved a lot, but they get a little bit of the exposure to medicine, but also think value, growth, rotation, and what we've been talking about. So there's those. And then finally, the other two plays I made today, UVXY and Tesla. So the first play in the morning, I was a little bit late here, but I did this last time. I made sure it got time. I mean, I think people are going to go crazy. I will tell you this, if you don't know how it's going to split and when that split date is, I would say don't trade it. Don't trade anything on here. This is not a recommendation. Option trading is extremely risky. You can lose almost financial investment. You already know that, but in all seriousness, just you guys know how Tesla trades. Be smart with it. It is a very, very big gamble. And we even saw that with how the contracts even move throughout the day. So my biggest tip would be if you don't know how it's going to split, know when it's going to split, and just make sure you don't hold the contract by then. Very, very simple. So I grabbed this September 18th. I'm probably going to flip out of this. I wanted some of that exposure. Again, Tesla's going to go crazy. And pretty much you saw what happened with Apple. There was a big move today on Tesla following it, and I like it, but I'm going to watch for it to kind of either level out, and then I'm expecting sometime next week, I'm just going to wake up and they're going to be up another 10%. So what is that based off of? I don't know. Just random crazy bipolar Tesla movements. And we got a little bit of a glimpse from Apple as well too. They kind of did the same thing. Remember, they had the earnings. You kind of saw the first little pop. They had a bigger range, based out for a few days, and then kind of popped, but then still stayed in the range. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it operate around that in between this 1,500 or 1,300 and 2,000. Very, very large range. But that was the first play. That play ended up closing about like $5, $4.80 on the bid, but I think it was really worth like $5.44 was the last trade, $6.50 on the ask. So it almost doubled, and I bought it, and the play was up 100%. So it didn't have too much premium. It had a little bit of time, but the thing was, 3,400 is way out the money, so that's why it's going to move very, very weird. So you would see Tesla go up throughout the day. It really, even when Tesla was going up, it stayed break even for a while. It really took a big move to make a lot. So I said this, on the out of the monies on Tesla, you'll get them cheaper. They're going to move very, very weird. If you want to make, dollar for dollar and be able to profit a lot, it's going to be the in the money contracts, but you're taking a risk. The more in the money or even at the money, you're spending more money up front. You're risking that dollar for dollar. When you buy out the money, I mine 350. Most I'm going to lose is 350, but you see here, I made $350 off of a $185 move on the stock. So, but now even then, if you think about it, you look at the at the money contracts here, or the ones that were kind of more near the money, they ended up going in the money at one point. They pretty much moved the same. They went up almost about 100%, but the difference was you spent a lot more money, so you returned a lot more money. You pretty much got more meat off the bone off that dollar for dollar move. So keep that in mind, but be careful trading Tesla. I'm going to hold this play. Maybe I'll trade it in the money tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe you're on stream. We'll see. But I like this idea of kind of swinging it, and with hype. A lot of people woke up to some good blessings with Tesla by holding them. Congratulations. And then finally, this was a really weird play. UVXY, I grabbed March 21st to next year. I got a 135 call and a 130. So what happened, I grabbed two of these at 140, spent 280. But then the chain is so illiquid. Again, it's UVXY. You don't really want to get too much time on it's designed to go down to zero. You got to really think about what you're buying here. And then this is trading at 20. I got 120. It's like a 7 times increase. It's crazy out the money. So UVXY, when you get really, really out the money, what starts to happen? The spreads go crazy. The bid and ask is wild. It's really hard to determine the value of something. I grabbed these at 140. They even went down after I bought them. So I bought them at 140. I was literally one of the highest prices. So me adding liquidity to this chain actually helped, because a real value was able to be met. People are like, nah, it's really not worth 140. And then that's why you could see on the history, as that was happening, this thing started to move up. I was like, well, if I could get to 130 for $1.39, $5 closer to the money, I was like, all right. So I grabbed one of those at 130, and that one held up a little bit better. And this was a better of a deal. So that's why I did those plays. But my idea here, it's March. Again, like I said, things are brewing. I don't want to go anything crazy. So I kept it broad with UVXY. And the fact is, remember when I showed you guys the UVXY and we talked about the whole emerging market thing? Well, I was like, well, it's low right now, but it's not really low in the grand scope of things. There's still some elevated concerns. We'll see if something happens, but this will even cover me into the election. And remember, I had an old UVXY on this account. We rode one of those up before, but I am worried if they do any splits or anything, but it's at like such a high level, but it covers me through the election, anything else, even after the election. So I like that. I spent about $500, a little bit bigger, but I did want to start kind of throwing some in there to see, but I'm not really too confident on anything else just yet. This one it's just crazy far at the money. So even, again, the fact that it went down in value after I bought it and a bunch of people, the market maker thinks you're absolutely absurd. The market maker thinks I'm an idiot, and they're rightfully so. It is a wild play, but that's pretty much what I talked about today. My logic is, right now with inflation, nobody really knows the value of anything. You don't even know nominal value. What's 130? I don't know what 130 really means. We talked about this on stream. You should go back and see that. So that was that play, and those were the only other plays we had. As far as everything else tomorrow, I will watch Tesla. I'm going to watch Cisco. They missed earnings and they warned of profits. This is a big move, but I think within expectations. They're a slow mover, but again, don't forget about those continuations. Watch Micron, AMD, and NVIDIA. Remember, they were moving pretty crazy, and this is what I was saying yesterday. You guys could even see it on the chips. Here's AMD. Remember, we had a big sell-off yesterday, but what happened? You came out pretty much just as much, but some companies are actually below the Monday break even. But watch AMD, watch Micron. Again, they've been having bigger moves in this. Micron even ended a little bit lower. And then NVIDIA, they were better. They're at least by their Monday break even there, but they have earnings coming up. But watch all those. They were moving up. Fairly interesting. HD, I really, really like, but we missed it. We went for McDonald's instead of HD and got clapped. So watch McDonald's. Doesn't mean the McDonald's is going to hit, but I will be watching out for it. I like it. And then beyond, they had this weird news today. It was a study that they reduced like cholesterol or cancer. I don't know, but it wasn't news to buy it. I didn't think so, at least. So that moved the stock, but it's kind of coming down again. Just factored stocks like Beyond and this whole growth rotation value thing. Then CEMI, I'm not playing this. Again, I'm showing you guys this one. This was news. It came out. This was a failed. This is a virus stock. I think it failed. They got something pulled in the back. But anytime you see the bio stocks and it looks like they're getting that run up and hype, but then they get chopped at this, that means something failed about the drug. That means it's usually dead. Everything after that point, I don't know. So I've been wrong. I know, CERN is going up. I still SRNE. I still don't trust that one, but there it is. Here's just another one of those biotechs that's getting talked about with the virus. I'm not into it. I don't like it, but that's what happened today. And then Myrna yesterday had that news with Trump and the doses. I thought they were going to go up. Our contracts did not go up. They ended up holding down. Watch them kind of in the same respect towards Tesla, where they might pop next week. I'm going to keep an eye on that. And then finally, like I told you guys, J&J. I just like them. I think we've ignored this stock. Again, the premiums have been high with stuff, but then you pull them out on the chart. They look good. They're literally just right above the break even. So it's like they haven't rotated, but they have. So I like them, and I'm assuming the premiums are going to be cheap because of this. So like I said, either calls or sell premium, maybe even puts, but they have exposure to the virus and some of that drug stuff, I believe. So I think they will be good. And then finally, Pfizer, same sort of logic, but they're actually ending a little bit lower, but they've been more volatile than J&J. I pretty much think J&J is going to be a little more chiller, but again, two different companies for the most part. But watch them. Finally, again, watch TLT, gold, all that, but SLV. I saw this after hours. There's people talking about how silver was moving and then the net asset value. Pretty much what's happening with the dollar, bonds, yields. Things are getting messed up right now, and silver, it could create a gap here. So I'm going to be watching them to see. I haven't played the paper ones yet, but we will see what happens. I'm not too jumpy, but if I see an opportunity, I will take it. But That is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you focused, baby. Earnings is over, but earnings is still happening. You see the game unfolding right before you. End of the year, events, elections, next year, volatility, global events. You gotta stay focused. Don't force it. You see the benefit of waiting. You see what happens. Fear, expectations, and the reality. Learn from it, baby. But Nicole loves you. I love you. I'm gonna see you in the morning. Let's go.